Wednesday already here on Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And I hate to do this, Barry, but we always look at it, and I don't know my percentages just right, but a 12-game regular season. We're into week 3. Ooh, what, 30?
Go ahead.
40% into the season?
Sure, 40%. We're 40% of the way in. Yeah, absolutely. No, actually, it's 25. But 25%? Yeah, 25% at the end of this week. We're a quarter of the way through by the time we take to the show on Monday.
Such a downer.
We said it before. We wait, and John checks the calendar and marks off another day like he's in the penitentiary. And by the time we get here, it's wait a minute. Already we've been 2 games. Some schools have had 3.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I mean, you have to think about it. 25%. When you go to bed Saturday night, are you going to think to yourself, we are 25% done with the regular season of college football 2025?
If you're wired like John Longshore, if you're like many of our positive Dale Carnegie kind of, Stuart Smalley people, you're like, oh boy, we've still got 75% of the college football season ahead of us. And we've already seen so many great games like, well, if you're Alabama, you're thinking like,
well,
if you're Auburn, you're thinking, man, that win over Baylor, that'll drive us till the dawn,
Well, Barry, it's interesting that you phrase it that way.
Right.
Because I Ohio State, Texas, maybe the best game. Clemson, LSU. I'm trying to think of all the games that have been played. Not many stand out. And once again, Barry, a prime example of people listening and viewing this radio and podcast program that we do these so many years. An article I saw today about scheduling cupcakes, about Auburn and Alabama just need to strip them from the menu, as it is entitled. And I thought, well, hey, this should be interesting. I might have to take a little read at this.
This is AL.com, Roy Johnson.
I don't know Roy. That was a new one. And basically, I'll give you the Cliff's Note version. Quit playing these crappy teams. And I'm thinking, finally, somebody's writing about it. I couldn't agree more.
Roy Johnson, who in matters of social and civil affairs is all about inclusion and diversity.
Yeah, he is.
Except in college football. Games against cupcakes. Powder conference teams paid millions by their Power 4 brethren to be an elixir for all that ails, to be fodder for the foundering, a way station on the way to a place no powder team will ever know, the playoffs. This is where he goes John Longshore on him, on everybody. He says, pause, nothing I say here is meant to disparage the overmatched teams or especially the young men who play for them. They practice just as many hours and compete just as hard, sometimes harder, as the young men on P4 rosters. Their hearts are just as willing. They're just nowhere as big and strong and talented. This is like John Searle saying, look, I don't want to bring this up. This is one of my new favorites. He's done this. He's branched out into this. I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
No offense.
Sure.
Meaning, all right, everybody, get ready to be offended here because John's fixing to lay it out. But these are crap, all that kind of. I mean, again, in the spirit that when you normally see Roy Johnson write, it's about justice for the downtrodden, equal opportunity for all. Now, this weekend, is probably the reason why he wrote it. Shamelessly, 88,000 people ventured to Auburn while 100,000 squeezed into Bryant-Denny last weekend. Ding, 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 ding. Falsehood. To watch lions devour puppies and cheer for the lions. The blinding sheen of naivete, which he spelled wrong.
Wait a minute. Don't they have editors there? I thought only one columnist misspelled words.
Roy, come on, Roy. He mentions this. Now, this is the one bit of fact in here.
One bit.
And I quote this. Budgeted expenses for ULM athletics in fiscal 2025-26 are $22 million, reports Louisiana TV station KNOE in Monroe. That's the smallest budget in Division 1A, by the way.
Oh, geez, wow.
Of that, appearances as cupcake fodder at Alabama and this Saturday at Northwestern, the station politely calls them money games, will generate $3.7 million, or almost 17% of the institution's projected expenditures. I get what he's saying. I get why people feel that way. I mean, 73-0 is 73-0.
It is.
But maybe, Roy, again, this is after he says, look, I don't mean to disparage the teams or the players or, how hard they practice. He spends the entire, every word of the rest of the article disparaging the teams and the players. And
is he rubbing their hair and saying, we still love you?
But maybe, Roy, if you look at history, which he tends to do whenever he writes opinion pieces about social matters.
Yeah.
Louisiana Monroe might not be your very best example to use of cupcake teams and shamelessly rolling over them, because I remember a game that Alabama played against Louisiana Monroe where indeed they did not roll over them and they were not cupcake fodder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those things do happen, but when
and that's one of the reasons why
the minute number of times little things like that happen, that the sports world loves to see on Sports Center and whatnot, but the majority, it doesn't play out that way. The numbers just don't add up, and it's not what we want to see. The TV networks don't want it, and there again, I mean, I've never been known as a liberal.
No,
ever. Except
never even mistaken for one.
Playoff. I've always said, let them all in. Tear the wall down. Let them come play in the playoff. But there's a little asterisk attached to that. I mean, not everybody. I mean, let's open this thing up, but there's some teams that we don't want in the playoff that just don't belong. Labo's one of them.
I'm a little disappointed in Roy Johnson, who normally spends his time, and rightfully so, commenting on social issues.
Yeah. I did think it was a little interesting, Barry, that basically in a world of inclusion, which he writes a lot about and is for, things of that nature, he has no interest in including the La Modes of the world playing the big boys.
All those. Look, I don't mean to offend anybody, but, we need to include men who insist they want to be treated as women or something like that. I think this is probably a little bit more legit, but still, I'm a little disappointed in him because he has thrown away all of his liberal trappings, and he says, I don't want to see no more of those games on the schedule. Bear in mind this. As I recall, I don't remember any news stories about the negotiations between Alabama and Louisiana Monroe involving Louisiana Monroe arming themselves and pulling a gun on the Alabama athletics directors. I'm not even sure that Louisiana Monroe was the one who initiated the contact between those two institutions.
I don't know. They got $2 million out of the deal. They're probably calling a lot of people to see who will pay them the most.
Again, they have the smallest budget in Division 1A.
Yeah.
And they are in bad trouble about, maybe
Sure.
moving to 1AA or something. So
I could see Lamo going, okay, Tennessee, you're 1.8. Hold on. Alabama, 2 million. Sorry, Tennessee, we're done. Click.
Yeah.
Bama, we're in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they're looking for a money game so these young student athletes can go experience what it feels like to get beat 73-0 on national television.
I think.
With gaudy helmets on, as the athletic director stuffs the check in his back pocket with a big grin on his face. Boy, fellas, y'all laid it all out there today. Man, good effort.
Yeah.
As his eyes are rolling and he's lighting up that cigar, heading to the bank to deposit that check. So there again, crap games could do without them. But as we've said before, until they completely revamp it, where everybody's got to play big boys every week, you're going to have these crap games. I mean, heck, if they're doing it, we might as well do it too. Why should we play the toughest of the tough week in and week out? Complete revamping of the schedule will change that. I know the TV networks would love to see it. Nobody wants to see this kind of stuff. And Dennis, I mean, I hate for you to put me on the spot, but yeah, South Alabama's a crap game. I mean, who cares? Auburn people don't want to play that. That's not what they're buying their tickets for and their greater Auburn Unlimited fund to get in the section of the stadium they want to sit in. That ain't what they're paying for. I don't what they want to see.
I hate to pull out a name of a random student athlete who I don't know. I think I've called his name before in a game before. But you think about somebody, maybe, if you want to put a face to it or a name to it, like ULM defensive back Carl Fauntleroy.
Interesting name.
Carl Fauntleroy is a starting defensive back for ULM.
Yeah.
Goes to the game. There's no doubt these kids are saying, man, we're playing Alabama. Man, we're going to Bryant-Denny.
Yeah.
We're going to face the Tide. Some of those guys are from Alabama, getting geeked up about it. Carl Fauntleroy, couldn't tell you anything about him, but he's a DB for ULM. He's out there. By the fourth quarter, he has been beaten. He's chasing 4-3 wide receivers all over the field and not getting anywhere close to them. Fourth quarter, John, it is 66-0, and his tongue is hanging out as the free safety for ULM. And I believe all the gleam and all the gloss has been wiped off of this game for him at that point. A minute to go, he's back there thinking, man, I'm going to eat 2 footlongs in the school bus on the way back. I'm going to drink me 3 Diet Cokes. Cannot wait. Then all of a sudden, ball snapped. Here comes A.K. Deer from 50. So he says, oh, please.
Yeah.
Turns around and starts running again. And he's thinking, man, why in the world does our AD, who, by the way, happens to be the football coach because John Hartwell quit. Oh, man. And he knows he ain't got no prayer. Carl Fauntleroy ain't running down A.K. Deer. And he's watching them, and you hear, and he's saying, get me to the freaking
bus. What's worse, Barry, that happening or having to stand there and listen to Dixieland Delight?
Well, they subject that to their own thing.
I don't know what's worse.
No, I mean, in that sense, maybe by the end of the game, the head coach, he's the interim athletic director, is thinking, all right, we're getting what, 1.7 out of this, 1.4?
2 million.
Well, that means maybe Northwestern's only giving them 700,000 or something. Yeah, geez.
$2 million.
Come off the dime, Northwestern. You got a bigger endowment than Alabama does.
I'm thinking, man, the athletic director's taking home $2 million. We've just gotten our butts beaten, bruised, battered, sore, and bloody.
Yeah.
He's happy and giddy because he's taking that money back to the bank. And what are we getting out of it? A quarter pounder and a medium size fry on the way back to the airport. Probably not even. Lamo probably didn't even fly. They probably busted him.
They might have. I mean, it probably happened. A few bruises and a concussion. I know John doesn't remember this, but we've had both the former athletic director and the current athletic director at ULM on our radio program. And no, Curtis, you're talking about Carl Spackler, not Carl Fauntleroy. He says that name sounds like it should have been on Caddyshack. I just picked that out because I was looking, at the box score and saw that he started at defensive back, and that's a funny name. So, yeah.
Yeah, that does kind of sound like a Caddyshack name. But there, and Bob from Pike Road, Bob, I hear what you're saying. Couple of things here. Don't give me the cupcake stuff. No, they don't need a cupcake. I mean, when you're preparing your team, do you think they went, okay, we got a cupcake this week. Let's take it easy, fellas. Not going to really bust our butts like we would against Tennessee, which is La Mo, so we got a cupcake.
Bob from Pike Road probably subscribes to the same adage as fabled Alabama football coach Gene Stallings, who said, you think what does he say? These teams are cupcakes, you try losing to them.
Yeah.
Bob says one cupcake opponent is needed every year to allow most on the team to get some PT and give the team a break from the gauntlet schedule in the SEC. It allows some who can't afford it to attend the game, which is true. But again, along those same lines, in the world of Longshore, the math doesn't add up because you give these teams, you demand all of these Power 4 games. And don't get me wrong, John's not thinking just Power 4. Really, if you pressed him on the subject, he's thinking of maybe 12 teams out of that Power 4 are worthy. And if you lose those games, John would be the first one to light the torch, get the pitchfork out, and storm the Mal Moore building. Get him out of there.
You're paying this guy $8 to $10 million a year. You better be winning. It's that simple. Well, and I don't want to hear the coach, well, the schedule's too tough. Then get another job. You're in the wrong profession. Go do something else. And I get it. Gives people a chance to go to the games. I don't know any other way to put it. They're just trying to sell the tickets and get the TV networks to pay them as much money as possible. And I don't think La Mo's part of that business plan. And if people seem to get the NFL games, and they're certainly expensive, a lot more than a college game. I see a lot of fans there.
I hate it when John uses the NFL as an example of everything that college could be. We already have the NFL. I never can. Let's get another NFL, but instead of calling them Kansas City and Los Angeles, let's call them Alabama and Wisconsin and Ohio State. Why not? It'll be just like the NFL, and we'll be just as successful in them being just like them. No.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Hey, already got one. Hey, look at that. Boy, there's this really successful food truck out there. They're making these authentic tacos. Yeah. I think I'm going to get a smaller food truck, and I'm going to set it right next to them, and I'm going to serve authentic tacos.
You ever notice when a fast food joint comes out with a new menu item, then they all start doing it? It's like when Chick-fil-A came out with mac and cheese. Now they're all serving mac and cheese.
You don't never see anybody else with a McRib, though.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Hey, isn't it about the time of year they bring the McRib back?
Yeah, it's getting to be fall. Here we go.
I think it is because the fish fillet's hot in January and February, I know.
We got to stay on schedule here because we got a big show, John. Big show today.
Better believe it. Bottom of this hour, in about 12 minutes, Josh Harris, the money line magician. I know Theotis always looks forward to that. Robert Kahn of Phoenix Physical Therapy to kick off hour number 2 today. And CJ Duncan from Yellowhammer News at the bottom of hour number 2. I know he's excited because his Commodores had a huge win at Va-Tech on Saturday night.
Lots to get to. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
It's the kickoff savings sales event going on now at Stivers Ford in Montgomery. New 2025 F-150s up to $16K off MSRP or 3.9% APR for 60 months. New 2025 F-150 STX 4x4s. Sign and drive lease for just $499 a month. New 2025 Explorers. Sign and drive lease, 0 down, $399 a month for 36 months. New 2025 Expeditions up to $9K off MSRP. Bronco Sports as low as $23,999, 0 down and no payment for 90 days. And new 2025 Escapes starting at just $19,999. Score big at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, 4000 Eastern Boulevard, and at stiversonline.com. Stivers Ford, where Price sells cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Summer's here, and so too are its many challenges. Heat that won't quit, beers that won't fit, hammocks that won't hammock, screen doors that appear out of nowhere, flips that flop a little too much. That's why it's important to keep it simple. Keep it cool, keep them coming, and keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. All righty, welcome back. Glad you're with us. 21 minutes past the hour on this Wednesday. Good conversation to get things kicked off. Seems to get people chatting on our River Region Straw chat line. We really appreciate that.
Always.
Our man Bill from Baltimore also forwarded us an article that was in The Athletic about students in college football games. They kind of branched away from really, I guess, what it was all about originally. Hey, have the students have something to do on a Saturday afternoon and come watch the football team play. Now, there's a lot more into a college football game before, during, and after that. I don't know, maybe the students aren't the most important part of it.
No, I ended up doing this last night, and it got me reminiscing a little bit.
Yeah.
We were talking yesterday. I can't even remember where it is. It's on YouTube. I don't remember who produced it. It's about a 25-minute documentary on Jerry Duncan.
Yeah.
The former Alabama all-conference player, sideline reporter. I watched that last night. And, they're showing some of the old practice clips with Bear up in the tower, and they wore those god-awful helmets that didn't protect a dang thing with the straps, the canvas straps on the inside, and Jerry Duncan starting as a 189-pound tackle, and they're showing all this stuff. And I'm thinking then, that's the way it ought to be. I mean, Jerry played right when I was born, for goodness sake, so I don't remember all that, but I remember the tearaway jerseys, and when I was a college student, and it wasn't, that long ago when you think about it, but you went to school with a guy. Hey, that quarterback. When I was in school at Florida, the quarterback was a guy named Wayne Peace, and we'd go over to the old Alligator Alley, which used to be the basketball arena, and we'd play pickup games of basketball. I lived, like a block away, and I'd play against Wayne Peace, the quarterback, and he'd dominate me. I was about 4 inches taller than him, but yet he was and you'd run into, hey, there's a defensive tackle named Doc Lucky. Hey, I know Doc. Hey, this guy went to my high school, Fred McAllister, a linebacker for Florida. I know Fred. It ain't that way anymore. I mean, it is at a place like Troy, where my wife and I went to Publix last night and ran into about 6 football players, which is great. But
getting a pub sub.
Yeah, they're getting like 3. But, back in the day, you used to have that identification with him a little bit more, a lot more, as a matter of fact. Hey, that guy's in my trig class. Or, hey, buddy, remember 5.5, right? 5.5. Remember football game? I'm just telling you, 5.5. Buy you a pub sub for that. But nowadays, who's your starting quarterback? Well, last year he went to TCU. He only enrolled after spring because he lost the job at TCU. The year before that, I think he was at Arizona State. Am I right? Was he Arizona State? Yeah. What about that running back? Running back. Yeah, I think he takes all of his classes online, makes $1.5 million a year. I've never seen him on campus, and
it is Barry, but you don't relate to the players.
Yeah.
How difficult is it? I mean, in one of these articles that Bill sent, it was kind of attached to it. Oregon plays a conference game this year, 2,640 miles away from their campus. How inconvenient is that for the student body? They're not going to that game.
Yeah.
The fans for that matter, but the students in particular, they can't afford to travel 2,600 miles or have the time or the money to do it. But hey, so what? The networks want it. We want to be in the Big Ten. The Pac-12's terrible. We got to do it to get more money and exposure. Well, what about the students? And what about the fans that, can't go to those games? Too bad. Hate it for you.
What we want is, this is all the networks who do run everything. What we want is for the students, put on some body paint. We want the girls to show some cleavage. We want, maybe the guys to put a C on one guy and an L on the other one, an EMSON on their chest and spell it wrong or whatever, and do all that, and wear the Home Depot helmets when we have them at college day.
And Barry, don't forget, the networks love it when Bama frat boy flips a bird to the camera at the end of the game. I mean,
so does social media, believe me. It's like I didn't read the article because I don't subscribe to The Athletic anymore, but it's kind of like you're just extras.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're the bandstand at the parade scene in Animal House at the very end, I mean, you're not Dean Wormer and you're not the Italian mayor or something like that, but you're up there and you're just there to provide bodies up there to scream and yell and jump whenever D-Day rolls the death machine into the
That's right.
into the stands.
You're right. I mean, people there again, I don't want to hurt any feelings out there. And I did 25 years ago when I first brought it up, but the band is a sideshow. They're playing piped in music. They're getting people revved up with music that people are familiar with.
Yeah.
That's high energy, that gets the place rocking. I mean, look, nothing against the band. They do a great job doing the national anthem and playing the school fight song and whatever. But they're a sideshow.
This is why, to bring it around full circle, this is why I love the group of five. Like Troy will play at 11 o'clock in the morning against Memphis. 2,500 Thunder Sticks to the students, 2,500 shakers. You'll get food vouchers. Students, and 2,500 is about a quarter of the entire student population at Troy. Students come out, rock out. They know the players, and a group of five. Some of the smaller schools, that's where they got it going on. You just build that identification, because at a town like Troy, which is very, very small, you run into those guys all the time.
Oh, sure.
Same thing like Auburn. When I was, going to school at Auburn way back when it was just a little bit bigger than Troy. John from Wetumpka says, guys, we watched Lionel James dunk a basketball at the student activities building. The fraternities were playing, and he was playing with us. Lionel, what was he, John? Called him Little Train for a reason. The late great Lionel. He was like 5'6". I remember seeing Walter the Barbecue Tate, who was a defensive tackle, a nose guard for Auburn. Everybody was, because he weighed 305 pounds. Holy smokes. I watched him standing dunk a basketball one time, and he wasn't but about 6'1". Nowadays, everybody on the line of scrimmage is 300 pounds, Don't get me started on that, because, students nowadays, they want you, they'll put you in the corner. The students at the Clemson game were I'm talking about the students, Clemson students, way up in the corner, and you'll take it and you'll like it. Some of these guys, a little bit later on, all of a sudden, hey, we appreciated you as a student, even though we didn't show it all that much. How about being a member of the Alumni Association now that you're a grad? Or, hey, how about being a member of IPTAY or Tide Pride or Tigers Ignited or whatever it is?
I don't know, Barry, if it's still this way, but when my daughters were in school, the student section in Tuscaloosa, some of it where it normally was in the south end zone, I believe it is.
Yeah, right.
And then they also in the south end zone upper deck. And they were kicking and screaming because they did not want to be in that upper deck.
Yeah.
They wanted to be in the lower bowl. But I always thought, why are you putting the student section in the upper deck of the end zone? But there again, they can sell those seats. They can make more money than they can giving them to the students at a reduced rate. So, yeah, the students are a sideshow in most of these games. Big games. I think you're right. I think smaller classifications, the students are more involved. Maybe not pushed off to the side, maybe like they are at some of these bigger schools.
Well, we need to, when we come back, talk with one of our first guests.
Yeah.
Who probably, at least urban legend tells us, squeezed more out of his student experience in college than almost anybody. We'll visit with our Moneyline magician, Josh Harris, when Longshore and McKnight continues after this, presented in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Already back at it, about 28 minutes to the top of the hour. Our man Josh Harris, the Moneyline magician, joining us as he does each and every week. I got to think he's got a smile on his face, got a sport coat on,
Nice.
Feeling good about his team with that 73-0 win on Saturday night.
It always feels good to just get in there and just beat up on a high school team, right? Take out all your frustration. Don't hold back. And it didn't help the strays that I've been receiving the past couple of weeks as well.
Yeah. When you logged in on the green room down there, John and I were talking about an article in The Athletic about how college students are kind of being given the shaft, a lot more of a lack of interest in including the college students and all the fun that is college football. So it was not planned this way that we bring a guy in who the rumor was, man, if there's anybody who got more out of his student experience in college than Josh Harris, we'd like to meet him, but it just happened to be that you're the one who's on next. Ever have any real quality football student athlete liaisons whenever you were in college? Who was the big football player who you said, hey, I saw that guy at Crimson Bucket or something like that? I don't know.
Trent Richardson. I'll never forget. I was sitting in business law,
There ain't no way Trent Richardson was in business law.
He was. It's a bit. You have to take this.
I took it.
I'm not much smarter than Trent Richardson, or smarter than him at all. So I was in business law. You have to take it for the business school.
Oh, okay.
I'll sit around. We were sitting in the class, and we turned around one day, and we hear this snoring in the background. And Trent Richardson's in the back row, snoring. Nobody stopped the class. Nobody continued to sit. The teacher didn't continue to say anything. Everyone just turned around and looked at him and was just like, let him sleep.
Saban's hard on him, man.
Sleep. Let him sleep.
Big game Saturday.
I had a class with Greg Richardson. We had an English class together. I had a biology lab with Mike Shula. Those are only two players I can remember.
Carl Engstrom. Carl Engstrom was in my class too. Big Carl.
Yes.
Team, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will. One of the CRIP courses that I did take, and Barry can remember the coach. He'll probably remember when I tell this story. I had to have an easy A, so I took coaching football one semester. And Barry, the teacher was the coach.
Bob from Pike Road?
Who I believe was on Perkins' staff that went maybe to Southern Miss, but he got in a little trouble, early 80s, whatever. There were more
Curly Hallman?
There were more cheerleaders in the class than there were football players. I'll never forget. I said, man, the whole cheerleading squad's in here.
John always tells me that, they never put up billboards, touting themselves at the University of Alabama, which they need to do academically. They've got a new one coming up. I never realized that the University of Alabama can claim the honor of having taught John Longshore English. I did not know that. That's a new one for me. I mean, that's a point of pride for the capstone.
They're
right
very
there.
persistent. The teachers are. I took English 102 twice. They just said, you were so good the first time, we need you to come help lead the class. So I went back and took care of it.
Did mom and dad buy that when you told them that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a sales and marketing major.
There you go.
Hey, I've got one even better. I started out in English 099. How about that? Now that's not even 101. Started out in 099 before I got to 101.
So did you hang in the entire time 73-0? Did you watch AK Deer run that 56-yard touchdown in the final minute against a totally disinterested ULM defense? Were you there throughout?
I was watching it on my phone. I was at a fundraiser Saturday night, and I was watching on my phone. We were sitting at dinner with two guys that went to North Carolina and their wives, and the other guy that went with me went to Alabama, and he's getting super excited that we're beating UL Monroe and just getting pumped about it. We have our dinner that serves steak and crab cakes. I'm just kind of eating it, watching the game. The two guys from that went to North Carolina say, Adam, who's the guy that I'm with from Alabama, I just love this. We've got Alabama fans getting excited about beating up on UL Monroe. And I said, Adam, shut up and eat your steak like a man and quit getting so excited about this.
There you go. It's embarrassing, Adam. Yeah. Come on.
Hey, Josh, I was at a fundraiser Saturday night too. Only difference was my fundraiser did not win for me, so I could raise those funds to put in my wallet, beating local man. It was a little tough on me Saturday night. But Barry and I were talking about it earlier. There was an article at AL.com today about playing these crappy teams. I mean, to me, it serves no purpose. And I just do not understand why college football, particularly at the big boy level, continues to put their customers through games like this.
It's interesting because you take the flip side of it. You have maybe not UL Monroe, but every once in a while you have teams like USF that was paid, what was it, $500,000 to go to Florida. USF needs to win that game to get in the playoffs. They need to come in and beat some of these big guys. And sometimes they just get blown out to no end. But these smaller teams have to play teams like Alabama or anybody, right, that is in the Power 5 conferences, because if not, they're done. They're not going to make the playoffs. Even if they go undefeated, they might not make the playoffs in some cases. So I think it's a necessary evil that has to happen to some extent, or else they're never going to make these smaller teams we'll never make it.
I wanted to ask you, I had actually written down, man, I got to run this by Josh Harris when it comes here. Get to let's go back a little bit, because people very dissatisfied. Lady was asked what she would do if she won the Powerball. She said, I'd spend $70 million, give it to Alabama, buy out Kalen DeBoer and that athletic director. Wow. I don't like him. I mean, people are unhappy. And that, and of course, John's first response, and it's a responsible response, is to say, well, who are you going to get? Well, I get sick and tired of hearing about Lane Kiffin. Last week, Ole Miss got a late touchdown.
Yeah.
They're leading as an 8.5-point favorite. Ole Miss, an 8.5-point favorite. They're leading by 10 against Kentucky with a touchdown. They score, a field goal. They score with 1:10 to go. Fans are loving them some Lane Kiffin over there in Oxford.
Yeah, so was a non-fan.
Then a little 54-yard drive in less than a minute. Kentucky calls timeout down 10 and kicks a field goal.
Yeah.
And the final score is 30-23. You can't tell me that there were Alabama power brokers, Josh, who looked at their little list that they carry on an index card in their pocket. They pulled it out and scratched Lane Kiffin's name off of it as potential successors. You don't do that, Josh. You don't do that. You don't let that happen.
Well, I think the reason that he's crossed off is what he said after the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was lighthearted. I get it. But the first thing that he's thinking about post-game, or one of the first things he's thinking about, is, boy, I didn't cover that line. Which I can't believe he said that. I'm thinking he
said, sorry to all of you gamblers out there.
You know what I'm hammering Lane Kiffin in Ole Miss for every game, because while he might not be able to get the job done every game, at least we know he's trying for us out there. So I'm taking Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin every single week, because we know Kiffin's trying to cover the spread.
That was one of those fundraisers that went south on me. And I'm watching it, they go up by 10. I looked at the little lady. I went, oh, that was too soon. That was too soon, because I knew that Civ defense was going to let Kentucky drive down the field, which they did. And then, of course, call the timeout to make the agony even worse, because you're sitting there going, oh, I know what's coming. Just go kick it. Don't put me through 2 minutes of agony during a timeout when I know you're about to hit this little chip shot to doom me. That just makes it even worse. Oh,
yeah, it's tough.
It is tough.
I'm surprised still that there's no repercussions from his comments. I mean, I maybe I'm being a Karen here, but you can't talk about gambling in the line directly after the game. I mean, you might as well be betting in a casino in Ohio on Alabama baseball if you're going to start saying stuff like that.
Has that happened before? Yeah.
What about your Troy Trojans?
Yep.
No kidding.
They were almost the darling of the week.
We were there at halftime, and I'm thinking, man, the entire nation is looking down. Whoa,
you ain't kidding.
It was that could have been big for sure.
Hey, you got Memphis coming in this Saturday morning. I mean, Troy's beating some teams that come in down there to Pike County thinking they're just going to walk through there. Missouri, Oklahoma State, to name a few.
Yep. It's an 11 o'clock game. Josh, Auburn plays at 11:45. Alabama plays at 11 o'clock. What's the official Josh Harris Moneyline Magician stance and approach to an 11 o'clock game? One is fine a season, understand it, or, man, give me more so I can get back out there and get in front of the TV and see what else I got going on.
I don't mind an 11 o'clock game. I don't mind it. I'm a morning person in general, so I like getting up, getting after it, and then the Tide's playing at noon Eastern. So it's got an extra little hour there. You get there, find a good place to sit down and have lunch and watch the Tide. It's pretty nice, and then you can go to bed at 4:30.
Unless you got Hawaii, that night or something.
Right. And then you just wake up and bet on the Hawaii game when you wake up.
I mean, 4:30. What are you going to the 2-for-1 buffet at 3? I mean, wow, 4:30.
I'm in senior living. That's what I sell to. So slowly,
he's subscribing to the lifestyle.
I'm 33, but I live like a 70-year-old.
All right, so back to the game. Let's before we let you go, 73-0. What did you think about the 3 quarterbacks that played in the game? Obviously, the starter, Ty Simpson, goes 17 for 17, but Austin Mack comes in. It was already decided. Second quarter, bring him in. I thought the whole group of quarterbacks looked good. Granted, I know who they were playing, but I just don't recall seeing that much of a rotation that early with 3 different quarterbacks until well deep into the second half.
It's a promising sign to see. I mean, it is UL Monroe, but it appears to in this game that we've got 3 quarterbacks that can play. So Ty's got a little pressure on him now based off, once again, UL Monroe, you don't want to look too much into it, opposed to Ty Simpson went and played on the road at Florida State. Big difference, big difference. But these guys are athletic and they can sling it, which is, I'm not going to completely give up on Ty because he's a great quarterback. But I feel like in today's game, you have to have that dual threat. And Ty was doing a good job of getting away from the quarterbacks, but I'm just not worried about him running downfield. And to some extent, that's what you need in today's game is that, that third option, hand it off, pass it, or be able to keep the ball and run with it. And I think we lack that a little bit with Ty.
Here's the one game that's a good game, competitive game that I'm totally disassociating myself from. I grew up in Florida, Gator fan, went to school there for a good while and everything. Somebody asked me, what do I think about Georgia, Tennessee? And I'm thinking, do either of them, can they both lose? What?
Oh God, these Georgia fans are just, I live in Atlanta. They're just throwing straight, catching everywhere. I mean, they're just like, some guy just started, remember when y'all lost to Florida State? And started clapping in my face. And I'm just like,
you're over it. Yeah. Georgia, man.
I was like, the Alabama-Georgia game cannot get here fast enough. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to win. We're supposed to win, that we're going to be favored or whatever, but let's just at least see if we can shut these guys up. They're running their mouth like they won a national championship, and it's classic Georgia fans. No one runs their mouth more than these guys do. Now they have a little bit more room to do it, but they've been doing it since I was born, thinking that they're, the cat's pajamas. That's another old folks term.
When I was younger, it was a Tennessee fan. Thought they invented college football. And they're good about running their mouth as well. I couldn't imagine living there in Atlanta and having to listen to that day in and day out from those dog fans.
They're awful. I mean, they're just like they think they're LSU fans. They think they're crazy and rowdy and scary like LSU fans, but in reality, they're just a bunch of frat boys that just sit around and brag all the time.
But think about it. Normally at this time of year, they're mixing in some Braves smack, but they can't talk about the Braves anymore. So there's only one team they can talk about. So they put all of their efforts into the Georgia Bulldogs, and they kick the Braves to the curb.
And then you got Younghoe Koo missing game-winning field goals for the Falcons on Sunday.
Yeah.
Didn't he get cut?
And they're testing out other people.
He also lost me a good amount of money, that guy. I'm sitting there just like, all he's got to do is make this. And I love Younghoe Koo. For whatever reason, I've loved him.
I do too.
And it was bad. I mean, it was bad.
Ooh.
And you had
too much sake the night before.
I know we're getting close to them, but Derrick Henry,
I
know he fumbled, but he looks like a young man.
Is he better as a pro than he was in college?
I don't know. I don't know.
That poor did anybody check after the game on that poor white defensive back for Buffalo that he stiff-armed on that first touchdown? Anybody, I mean, you run the little pen light across his eyes and all that stuff, make sure he's okay.
He just actually disappeared into a different dimension, and no one's seen him since that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he looks like he's dominating a college football game in the pros. He doesn't look like it's a pro running back that's maybe breaking one loose every once in a while. He's just running up the gut and he's gone. People don't want to get near him. He's pushing these guys, these 220-pound pro athletes, like they're kindergarten. I mean, like he looks like he's getting better and better every year. It's kind of
crazy. And he's like, he's Josh's age or somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
old.
Goodness sakes.
He is my age. He's old.
Yeah.
Hey, we're loving the sport coat look today.
Very
man.
nice.
Yeah, very nice. Love that. Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
New sports coat from Joseph A. Banks. Buy one, get 3 free and a cell phone.
There you go. There you go. Appreciate you, Josh. Thanks a bunch.
See y'all.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy. Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician, joining us here today on the program. Always entertaining.
We got a moment here.
Yeah.
We were talking about fans, and gosh, he has to live amongst Georgia fans 24/7. Their little story from the weekend. Troy, I appreciate his kind words about Troy. I think Troy's going to be really good this year. They looked exceptionally good in the first half.
Barry, as a matter of fact, not to interrupt, but I did think, and I don't know if you can really discuss matters like this, but I did think it was interesting that Troy only a 3.5-point underdog to Memphis. And I was hearing a lot about Memphis in the preseason.
Yeah, Memphis has been really good for a good little while now.
That's an interesting number. I'll just leave it at that.
They got to come to the vet, and the vet is tough to play.
Yeah.
But we got stories. Last week we were in Clemson, and there was a great crowd before the Lightning came. I mean, it was full, 81,500, and we were talking with some people beforehand about, hey, is it going to be difficult to get in? Because we've been to Clemson before, and it's a small town, and the traffic's bad. Yeah. And they said, listen, last week, the mayor and the city council of Clemson, South Carolina, had to issue a statement saying that despite public outcry, they are not going to be able, they don't have the ability to prohibit fans from illicitly parking in yards around the campus. Evidently, and I said, what was that all about? They said, evidently, they said, we have never, again, small town, a little bit smaller than Auburn, as a matter of fact, we have never seen anything in all of these years like LSU fan. He said, LSU fan, they would just park in people's yards. Didn't ask. I mean, they would just park, and the people would run out and say, no, you can't park here. And they'd laugh at them and take another pull on their moonshine and walk off. I mean, when once one car parked in there, he said, man, they beer cans everywhere. The night before, the cops were called all the time to the little bars they had, the SO Club and all that around Clemson, because LSU fans were getting drunk and starting fights and all that stuff. He said they come to the game and they're parking in people's yards, and you can't tow them because every yard was full. And next time just put no parking signs out there. And one of the residents said, we did.
Yeah,
they put the parking signs. LSU fan on the road, John, is a phenomenon.
Yeah, I saw 10,000 of them in Tuscaloosa one Saturday night that didn't have tickets and didn't want them. They just wanted to be around the stadium and soak up the game day vibe.
Trash talk, getting fights,
That's right.
That's why
the thing about towing, I just tow that first one, and I just start towing as many as I could. I mean, I've seen tow trucks in Tuscaloosa, the guy's walking down the street while he's getting his car towed. I mean, they are that quick. It's like they're hiding behind a dumpster, waiting for you to park somewhere you shouldn't. Zoop, they zip in real quick. They can hook that car up in no time. It is going down the street. So that would be, if I'm Clemson, I'm saying I'm getting in the tow truck business.
Never had that. And Clemson's been playing football for 120 years. They said we'd never had anything close to the phenomenon of LSU fans coming to Clemson, parking where they want, trash everywhere, screaming, hooping, hollering, fighting, all that kind of stuff.
Well, you think about it, Barry. I mean, I've never thought Baton Rouge was one of the prettiest cities I've ever been to.
No, I got to go along with you there. Yeah.
I mean, you think about it.
And this is one of the best pieces of advice that I have ever heard from John, because I've called games at LSU. I've been to games at LSU, the whole schmear in all kinds of different sports. But football, John once said, look, when you're going down there, don't be wearing your crimson overalls with the big cowboy hat and the Tide stick. Don't be wearing your full-length tiger stripe trench coat with your orange and blue VW microbus that goes whenever you hit the horn. Just go there, dress normally, dress in something nice, but nothing overt, and just get in, get out. You don't want to deal with it.
No, exactly. You want to be nondescript, khaki pants and a white golf shirt. That's it. No, you don't be going in your crimson. Don't be head to toe in that. You're just asking for people to give you the business. And that's why you don't want that. You don't want to go to Baton Rouge and get the business.
Unbelievable.
All right. Yeah. So Barry, at the top of the hour, coming up here in just a moment, Robert Kahn, Phoenix Physical Therapy, will join us. There's several interesting, well, I don't know if injuries are interesting. Maybe I should have put it that way, but yeah, I mean, I guess they are to some degree, that caught our interest that we wanted to ask Robert about. We'll do that here momentarily. We do it each and every week. Our Phoenix Physical Therapy, Phoenix Physical Therapy rehab segment, where how do athletes get back into the game? What's it take when you're injured to get that injury rehabilitated so you can go out and perform your very best? And it happens at every level, from junior high to the NFL. And these guys and gals help so many athletes get back on the field.
And so many people like geezers like me and John, too.
Yeah.
It's for you, believe me, and for me. Phoenix Physical Therapy coming up in just a moment. Let's take a break. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
The dreams that matter most happen while we're awake, because they're the ones that remind us of the places we want to go, of the ideas we plan to pursue, of the legacies we hope to leave. We understand you have goals to meet, and we want to help you reach them, to fuel your vision and invest in whatever motivates you. So we want to know, what inspires you? Synovus Bank, member FDIC.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-diddle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us. A couple of minutes at the top of the hour. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light in association with our friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out there. Video content right up each and every afternoon about the day's show. Also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. Man, we're all over the place. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We really, really appreciate it. Barry, I just got a text from one of our viewers who is in Baton Rouge. I can't repeat what he said about that city, but basically he agreed with our feelings about it's not a very pretty place.
It is not. You go, and you know, there's some, I love the restaurants in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They have some nice ones. The LSU campus is pretty nice, you know, on the Mississippi, and you got a couple of little bayous in there. The LSU, I say it's nice. It's not the prettiest campus in the SEC. To say the least, but gosh, you go to parts of LSU. I mean, not parts of LSU. You go to parts of Baton Rouge, and it looks like Mogadishu. Oh my gosh! You know, is that up to code? I don't know that that's going to be standing for much longer. You know that kind of a thing. God bless it.
You know, that upper deck, Barry, you can see all those oil refineries and all that kind of stuff.
And plaque mining, you know.
It is. I know my man Robert Kahn's been down to Baton Rouge. He knows what we're talking about. It's you want to zip in and zip out. It's kind of like Czechoslovakia.
It's Wisconsin. Yeah.
Hey, Robert Kahn from Phoenix Physical Therapy joining us here this morning. And just to let you know, Robert, as we kick off, we got a text from one of our viewers. His daughter is at your Wetumpka location up going twice a week for an ankle injury. Wanted us to pass that along and just getting great therapy and service up there, and just wanted us to let you know how satisfied they are.
Well, that's where our man Brent Vincent is up in Wetumpka. He takes good care of folks up there. He, you know, he's been there a long, long time. I keep telling him, you can't leave and run for mayor because I think you might win in Wetumpka. So hold back.
Well, it brings to the point that we brought up before, and you've shared news with us before about the expansion of the facilities in the river region of Phoenix Physical Therapy. There's a wonderful location in Troy that has gone over well, Wetumpka, Selma, Prattville, Auburn, Alex City, several in Montgomery. And as far as the facilities and the resources and the technology continuing to grow and improve at Phoenix Physical Therapy, my favorite part is the people, the professionals that are employed there, Robert.
It's funny you say that, Barry. And, you know, we grow in a certain way. We grow, we don't look at a map and say, hey, look, we want to be here. You know, X demographics look good here. Let's go here. We open our clinics around people. So we find the person first. So we partner with the clinic director who runs the office before we ever think about opening somewhere. We get to know them. We get to know how they treat people, how they treat patients, and then we open a facility around a person, because in our business, it's all about the people. You know, you can have a pristine looking building and a great looking clinic, but if you don't have the right person, you're not going to be successful.
Very well put. You're right about that. Heck, you see it with businesses. I mean, they'll put a location somewhere thinking the traffic count's going to get everybody coming in, and it doesn't work that way. You got to have the people. You got to have the product. That's the main ingredient, and certainly at Phoenix Physical Therapy, they have got that taken care of. Great people. They're going to take care of you, as Chris has let us know about his daughter, and he's very satisfied about that. All right, speaking of injuries, Robert, this one just kind of, I just thought, wow, I've never heard of this before. Certainly heard about ankle injuries. We talk about those a lot, but not with a kicker. And as I'm thinking about an ankle injury on a kicker, whether it's the plant foot or the foot you're kicking with, you don't need an ankle injury there. And to me, psychologically coming back, you got to make sure, okay, can I plant as firmly as I want to? Can I kick the ball as hard as I want to? An ankle injury for a kicker, to me, is just different than an ankle injury on for a running back or a quarterback. Am I right?
Yeah, you bring up a great point, because, I mean, it's either foot, right? You know, your plant foot gets a lot of torque and a lot of pressure when you're kicking. And then when you're kicking the ball, obviously it's going to hurt if you have, you know, a typical ankle sprain of your right or left foot be the kicking foot. So, when you have a kicker, even a punter as well, it becomes a little bit more complicated because you're using in what you're out there to do, kicking and punting, you're using both the left and the right foot and the right left ankle in order to do what you need to do. Some people may think, oh, it's his left foot. He's a right-footed kicker, should be good to go. If you watch, imagine the amount of torque they put on that left foot, on that plant foot when they're kicking.
We have I can't name any names, but that happened in the Troy game where the kicker, I don't want to bring up specific injuries, where the kicker hurt his back.
Yeah,
and had to have another guy come in and kick the field goals for the rest of it. There is an incredible amount of twisting and torsion and all that type of a thing. This is why you need somebody like Bucky Berry, or get you a big offensive tackle, square-toed shoe, tie that baby up straight ahead, where there's not that much torque on the end.
And Barry, just think about it. If you're a punter like that former punter at Auburn that was a little heavy set, and you got that added weight on that ankle, whoo.
Hey, tell me about punters. How about the punter that put a lick on the Alabama returner this weekend at La Mo? I mean, that guy came out of nowhere. I don't know if it was Rico Scott or whoever was returning the kick. It reminded me of, what was it, Lane Beard, the old Alabama punter?
Bearden, yes.
But Robert, as well.
That was the only good lick they passed the entire game.
In film study, that guy got blistered. I mean, that Bama player is getting blistered by that punter just jacking him. Yeah, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, the punter even got up and gave him a little stare down after.
It was awesome. Is there a different type of rehab, though, for a punter or a kicker? Because there again, the torque on the plant foot, the pressure on the kick foot. I mean, I wouldn't think there would be, but I don't know. I mean, you're talking about some different rehab things going on with kickers?
Not really. I mean, the initial phase of ankle recovery is going to be the same, right? It's going to be a lot of stabilization, a lot of strengthening, a lot of flexibility, pain control, swelling control. And then once you get past the initial phase, we're really starting talking about returning to function. So the only thing would be different would be game simulation and things like that. Return to sport activities. We're going to work with a kicker differently than we would work with a linebacker. A kicker is not going to be moving laterally, making quick cuts. We're going to move in them, working with the kicker more on their specific function, just to make sure that we've got them ready to go with what they will be doing during the game. So, whenever we talk about return to sport, it's all about function. It's all about reenacting what the athlete will be doing during their playtime going full speed. So whenever we have an athlete come in and we're rehabbing, once we've got full strength, full range of motion, pain is under control, you still don't know if they're ready to go back and play until you can simulate what they're doing. Right. So same thing with work-related injuries. We do a lot of work-related injuries. People come in with a back pain. I've been lifting 50 pounds at work repetitively for 4 hours. Well, doing some simple therapy will get their pain under control, but can they go back to lifting 50 pounds repetitively for 4 hours? We don't know. We'll simulate that in the office just to make sure that they're ready to go back and do exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, because the rehab, you talk about work-related injuries or, not normal injuries, not sports-related. You're not trying to get them to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're trying to get them fit and functional. What does their lifestyle require from them? More so than just, we got to get this guy looking cut. And, it's all about, hey, how can I get this person back to full functionality for what their life looks like?
Yeah. And everybody's function is totally different. Right? So, my mother coming in with some knee pain, her return to function is going to be totally different than the linebacker at Alabama who has an MCL sprain.
One of the interesting quotes, even more interesting than Lane Kiffin after he allowed the late field goal to Kentucky, saying, hey, sorry about to you gamblers out there. Kyle Shanahan, this one got me. The San Francisco 49ers coach, he mentioned after their game last week, they had some injuries. Their tight end is out for a few weeks with a hamstring. Their quarterback, Brock Purdy, Shanahan said he's got a shoulder that he's going to have to deal with and a toe he's going to have to deal with. And he said, to be honest, the toe is a little bit more problem than the shoulder. Yeah. He's a quarterback. I'm thinking, what? The toe?
Yeah. We've talked about turf toe on this show a lot. It again, they don't give any details about what kind of toe injury he has, but when you injure that big toe, right, you don't understand how much you use that big toe until it's not functioning properly, especially when you're an athlete. So, a turf toe is a hyperextension of the big toe where you sprain the ligaments in the toe. It is so hard to get well. It really is. It's one of those nagging injuries that just sticks around. You can do an injection for it. You can do anti-inflammatory procedures for it. You can try to immobilize it the best you can to let it settle back down. But when those athletes go like they go and you have a turf toe, it is one of those things that just is very difficult to get well.
And it's kind of like last week we talked about
out there. You viewers
talked about thumbs and toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's hard. You think about fingers and toes, you don't think it's a big deal until you can't use it.
Yeah. All of our viewers out there, while you were talking, admit it, guys. You flexed your toe and were thinking about it. That makes sense. I never thought about that.
Robert, my wife kids me. She says I've got ugly feet. I think they're really cute. I really do. I think they're good looking. But I've got a kind of a big toe. My biggest toe is kind of rounded, a little bit more, not thin. And, when I was little, started out playing golf, I played barefooted. I could dig that big toe into the tee box, get a little bit more grip with it. But if you hurt that toe, you're right. It's like the thumb.
Way too much information. Way too much information.
Well, you think about
I got to be descriptive, Barry. I got to lay it all out there.
People with diabetes often will lose, toes, right? If you've got a bad case of diabetes and it goes untreated, it can be common to lose a toe. If you lose your little toe, you're probably okay. Maybe a little balance issue, but you lose that big toe. You've got to get a prosthetic for that big toe because you'd be amazed at how much function that big toe has in balance, basic standing, walking. I mean, think about it. Every time you walk, that big toe is working to make you walk correctly.
Well, I'm interested to know this about what you do. Do you ever, coaches, players, parents, and everything, are there ever situations where you have to give a hard opinion like he could play, but man, it would be a lot better if we let him kind of hang out for a week or two? My advice is let him rest it, get a little extra healing, and get back at it in a week or two. He could get out there and move around a little bit this week for the big game. But man, I think it'd be much better if you rested it.
Barry, it's funny you bring that up. That is the hardest part of our job, right? So as an athletic trainer, as a physical therapist with an injured athlete, there's so many people involved in the treatment of this kid, including the coach who wants him to play,
right? The
parents who may or may not want to push the envelope, and you got the kid as well. So you got three different perspectives you're dealing with. We have to be a total independent source, give the best medical opinion that we have with the information that we have. There are, parents are going to make the ultimate decision when it comes to a minor, right? If they don't want their kid to play, that kid's not playing. Okay. Coaches get involved. Coaches are like, man, we really need him for Friday night. I know he's not 100%, but man, I'd love to have him back. So we get the kids that come in here. We have to be a totally independent resources with the kid's health in mind, number one, right? If that kid is ready to go back, then we will message, hey, look, this kid has passed all functional testing, got full strength, full range of motion for orthopedic injuries. Hey, look, he's okay to play. If he or she wants to play, the parents agree that they're ready to play. So it's got to be a team approach with this whole thing.
And I'm wondering, some of the Alabama players that have been injured, there's a lot of talk, well, they might be back for the Georgia game, got an off week and then Georgia. But I'm hearing, well, maybe they might be back this week. I just kind of look at it as, okay, if you could come out and play this week at 80%, would it not be better and I know they want to play, I get it, I factor that all in, but hey, man, let's wait. You got an off week and then another week before you actually play. We'd love to have you, but we think we can win this game without you, and I'd rather you be 100% in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing about soft tissue injuries, right? When you have soft tissue injuries, there's no 6 weeks, you're out bone healing time, that's how long it takes, right? When you have soft tissue injuries, depending on the severity of the soft tissue injury, depending on your function, depending on what position you play, depending on what you need to do during the game, there are absolutely times where we will go to a parent and a coach and say, hey, look, quarterback is 80%. You've got, little sisters of the poor coming in on Friday. They're probably 0-20. We can choose to play this weekend, but there's some risk there that you have a re-injury, and then you're out another 2 weeks. So, that's a lot of what goes on with in college as well. I mean, Alabama should be able to handle Wisconsin, right? Line is what, 21, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
You got Tim Keenan, who may or may not be 75, 80% after the tightrope. You've got Jam Miller, who is now, 4 weeks post the sternoclavicular joint dislocation.
He will be, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it were the national championship, you probably couldn't keep these kids off the field. I can promise you they're going to say, I'm in. I don't care. You saw Tim Keenan with Coach DeBoer on the sidelines this past weekend. I mean, that's an intense kid. He's ready to get out on the field.
You got a lot of – I'm sorry.
It's one of those two that a lot of times they will fully dress.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
And they are one of those, hey, look, let's hope the game goes well. I think last year, the South Florida game, remember, it was a tight game in the fourth quarter. And I don't remember if it was Elijah Pritchett or who was injured that game. They brought him in the fourth quarter, and we scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it was one of those, he's fully dressed, ready to go, and it becomes the holy you-know-what moment where we got to put the big boy back in.
Yeah. There's so many different voices that you have to kind of sift through. I can imagine it clear as a bell. Way back in the day, Turk is at practice at Jeff Davis. He turns an ankle for a moment. He's in a sitting position out in the middle of the field looking at his ankle. Out comes the athletic trainer. He's crouching over him. He says, give me a little range of motion. How's it feel? And Turk says, I'm good. And Coach Lee comes out, and he's leaning over Turk. Hey, what do you think? Oh, I think I'm good. Let me play. I'm fine and everything. And then you hear a voice right behind him says, I don't know, Coach. I think maybe he needs a couple of weeks of rest, So you got to filter out a lot of that stuff.
Turk could have been 20%. He was getting in the game.
Hey, Barry, I brought up, we got to take into consideration the coach, the parents, and the kid, but I guess you also got to take into consideration who the backup is.
Ooh, yeah. Come on, Mike. If you're walking, all right, we need you in uniform.
Yeah. Got to be up at least by 60 against Tuskegee before we're putting number 8 in the game. I can promise you that. No doubt. All right, so you mentioned getting dressed up for warm-ups. I understand Jam Miller was dressed out for the La Mo game. Went through some pre-game warm-up type stuff. I guess maybe just to, get him in the field, whatever. And that's kind of where a lot of this talk is coming from earlier in this week, because some of these injured players dressed out didn't get into the game. But I don't know. Is that just kind of the first step to, we're kind of getting you back into the game routine, so to speak?
And it could have been part of the protocol as well. I mean, Ryan Williams was fully dressed before the game, going through warm-ups, going through the motions. And that's part of the concussion recovery protocol. He's probably far enough along in the protocol that he's still probably a little bit non-contact, but he went through the high-level activities, getting your heart rate up, going through the motions, going through the receiver routes, catching balls and things like that, which means he's probably not to that you're ready to go play, but you're ready enough to go through X stage in the protocol, fully dress out, go through the motions. Jam Miller probably the same way. With the sternoclavicular joint, his legs are fine. Get out there, run full speed, go through the motions, stay fresh, but we don't want any contact on the clavicle.
Maybe there's some people out there, people our age or younger, that are dealing with something and dealing with a good bit of denial as well, maybe a bit intimidated or anxious about that first step. You can make an appointment at Phoenix Physical Therapy at any one of the locations online at phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. But what can they expect if they're a little bit intimidated or anxious about the prospect of actually going into the facility and starting to address their concern and injury?
Yeah, I mean, I think once you step in foot in any of our offices, you're going to feel at home, right? You're going to feel comfortable. We've got professionals who've been doing this a long, long time. Like we talk about, not just sports medicine, but any type of injuries. We see anything from kids to geriatrics in our office with, arthritic problems and shoulder issues and spine issues. So, once you walk in our office from the front office to the back, you will be comfortable, well taken care of. I would invite anybody to come in and check it out.
Robert, 3 weeks into the high school season, what injury are you seeing the most?
It's typical. Beginning of the seasons, it's ankles and knees most of the time. Dislocated shoulders a lot as well. Concussions are always common these days as well. I'd probably say those are the top 4. Knees and ankles, little subluxar or dislocated shoulders, and concussions are what we're seeing the most of.
Locations all over the river region, locations all over the country, but in Alabama, some really, really, really good locations. Alabaster. Now,
yes.
Yeah. How about that?
Opened last week. Our first location up in the Birmingham market. We're excited about it. We've got, we talk about opening clinics around people. I've known the PT up there. He's been in the practice for 23 years. Very well respected, very seasoned PT up there in the Alabaster region. So, again, we never said, hey, let's go to Alabaster. It was, hey, let's go open this clinic around this person who we know is good at what he does, has quality care, excellent customer service, and will do a great job for the community up there.
Well, we've got a viewer giving a big shout out to Brent and Brian at the Wetumpka location. So they're letting us know that, getting some great service up there.
Man, that's twice for Brent and the Wetumpka office up there today. Maybe a little bonus coming those guys.
I like
it. Looks like he ought to run for mayor. Unbelievable.
All of the information that we're talking about in terms of getting in contact with any of the professional staff and locations at Phoenix Physical Therapy, phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Robert Kahn, always informative and entertaining, which is what we're after. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, guys. Talk later.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. It's Robert Kahn, Phoenix Physical Therapy, joining us each and every week here on the program during the season to talk about injuries and how do you get back in the game. And, of course, they take all the steps necessary. They're not going to get you back on the field unless you're ready. That's the most important.
And he mentioned, real quick, if you're dealing with some kind of arthritis things, it's not always specific injuries. Sometimes it's illnesses or disabilities and stuff. Yeah. They will take care of those as well at Phoenix Physical Therapy. Still to come, we owe you another daily dog.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we?
From the Phantom. And later on, it's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel here on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Score big savings at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Prattville during the kickoff savings sales event. New 2025 Ram 1500s up to $21,000 off MSRP plus 3.9% APR for 72 months or 1.9% APR for 72 months. It's your choice. New 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $11,000 off MSRP. New 2025 Jeep Wranglers up to $14,000 off MSRP or 1.9% APR for 72 months. New 2025 Jeep Gladiators up to $13,000 off MSRP or 4.9% APR for 72 months. And Ram 2500s up to $14,000 off MSRP. Alabama and Northwest Florida's largest volume Ram dealer is in Prattville at Stivers CDJR, where Price sells cars, trucks, and SUVs. 2209 Cobbs Ford Road and at stiverscdjr.com.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? can get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Well, I might have a frozen screen here.
Yeah, okay. I hope everybody can hear us.
Yeah, I think so.
Because we're not up.
Some people might rather see the Budweiser logo than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows?
John's got a sport coat like that.
I do. I was thinking about when I might bust that back out again. I was thinking about that recently.
Let's see if we can get.
We're slowly but surely coming back.
I'm trying this myself,
seeing
what we can do here. You got to be ready for anything on it.
Yeah. Got that right. So I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
So
we'll work around it.
The Daily Dog. It
Yes.
was a late one last night. 8:35 was the first pitch. 8:38, excuse me.
Yeah.
8:38 was the first pitch last night. Between the Los Angeles Angels and the Minnesota Twins.
Hey, I got it. Yeah.
Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
I was looking at the box score. I'm a big box score guy. Barry.
Yeah, as opposed to watching it or taking part in it or understanding the nuances of how the game was played or anything. Give me the red zone. Give me a box score, and I'll figure that out myself.
And there again, Barry, a late start, 8:38. But hey, we jump up 3-0 in the bottom of the first. I'm thinking, beautiful.
Yep.
This is great. Don't need to watch any more of it. Okay, don't need to go back and check the score again. I guess
That's what Jim Rome used to say. He said, baseball is like the America's Cup. When that yacht makes the turn, ain't nobody catching up to that yacht from that point on. That's the one that makes the turn in first is going to win that thing.
Sure.
So
I'm all in it. 17 hits for the Angels last night. Not that really matters, but they did hit the ball a lot. 12-2 was the winning score, and the Phantom cashes yet again another winning ticket.
Yep. I don't know what it is about the Phantom, who has made his reputation with the oblong spheroid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the Phantom is just showing off now on baseball. The Phantom is just major flexing on baseball right now. He said, I can do this all day, guys. You keep talking about can't wait for the college football season in the Phantom. Can't wait for the NFL season in the Phantom. Hey, Phantom is selling you, I can get it done on the baseball diamond. You just picked a sport. I got you.
We are building your bankroll for football season, basically, if that's what you're into. But hey, don't sleep on the baseball or the NBA playoffs for that matter.
True.
If you really want to go back. But a winner last night, a little late. So Barry, we're going to go a little earlier today for our viewers and listeners. We're not going to make you stay up so late. Now, it's not a lunchtime game. But this game will start before the 6 o'clock news, so to speak. 5:35 is the first pitch for this game. A late afternoon game. It will take place between two teams that played last night, the Baltimore Orioles and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yes.
How about that?
Which is interesting to note because, we took a look at the NFL power ratings a little while ago.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Dead last in the NFL power ratings.
Yeah.
Actually, when you look at it, one of the two teams playing in Major League Baseball the Phantom's dabbling in is one of the few teams that's lower rated than the Atlanta Braves in the baseball power ratings. The Orioles are right ahead of them.
Yeah.
The Pirates are well behind them, one of only 8 teams worse.
Yeah.
Ratings than the Braves.
Yeah, that's true. That is a fact. Look, Barry, quickly before we release the pick, we're going for the number 1 draft pick in the NFL. That's where we
are.
The
March for Arch.
We're 1 week into the NFL regular season. We already know how this is playing out. The Saints will be 0-2. I mean, to lose your first 2 games are at home, and you're going to lose them both. That's going to probably happen. They play in San Francisco on Sunday, even though Frisco's got a quarterback issue.
Yeah.
But tonight's pick.
Yes.
Pittsburgh is on a 4-game losing streak. Baltimore's on a 1-game winning streak because Baltimore beat Pittsburgh last night.
They did. True.
We're going to go for it again tonight. The Orioles will extend the Pirates' losing streak to 5 games, and the Orioles are a home underdog tonight at plus 130. What are they thinking?
We're
going to take this home bird, actually. We're taking Baltimore plus 130, hosting Pittsburgh at 5:35 today.
And don't forget, tomorrow, the Phantoms Daily Dog could dabble in some college football, could give you an NFL game. It's all open for the Phantom. We open up things in a moment to CJ Duncan, who will join us live, talk a little football with him when Longshore McKnight continues in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 29 minutes to the top of the hour. Looking forward to welcoming in our next guest, CJ Duncan with Yellowhammer News. And I've been thinking about this guy since Saturday night, knowing he was so excited. Man, what a game in Blacksburg, Virginia. Vandy taking care of Va Tech on Saturday, CJ.
Oh, man, it was an awesome weekend, especially for my Doors to have some resiliency going in the half down, but, understanding we've got a veteran team and just believing that we're a better ball club. We just needed to execute a little bit better, and we surely did that in the second half.
It's a thing. It really is a thing with Pavia where he's in the top 10 in the country. I just looked it up in pass efficiency, and he's not really even known as a passer. It is a thing, CJ, to have that one guy in the locker room on the sideline that everybody gravitates around. You can probably name a few that you've played with or know about, but that's critical, right?
It really is. I like to call those guys a closer, right? As a team, you feel as if, hey, if we just keep this thing close, we've got a guy that can go finish it for us, right? And Pavi is that for this team. And my freshman year, that was Jordan Matthews. He played receiver, not quarterback. But if we kept the game close, we knew at some point 87 was going to make a play late third or in the fourth quarter that was going to separate us from everybody else. And just like we thought every game that year, I think we ended up winning 9 games. In almost every game, he came through for us in the end.
I just, I'm still looking back on it. I mean,
24-0 in the second half, John.
I mean, down at halftime, and I'm thinking, it's like Vatek didn't even come back out of the locker room. I mean, you're talking about two different halftime adjustments. I mean, it was incredible just seeing how Vanderbilt completely mowed up and down the field in the third and fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Well, sometimes, teams only have one good punch, and you know that if you're a player, you just got to wear them out. They can't go the distance. Those guys up in Knoxville, East Tennessee, they were kind of the same way when I was playing. You survive the first punch, you'll be able to take care of them the rest of the way. So we survived their first punch, and we kept punching. We kept giving body shots until finally they fell. And so that's kind of who this team is. We can take a lick across the chin, but we're gritty enough to keep swinging, and that's what we did on Saturday.
I'm telling you, that is a thing. And Pavia is a guy who, I almost refuses to lose, that just rally around him. Do you see that? I was really impressed, and I've talked about this a couple of times during the week. The new Oklahoma quarterback, John Mateer, they had the late game at home against Michigan. Oklahoma's 2-0. They end up beating Michigan by 11. They got a guy with that same kind of whatever it takes sort of a deal. I was impressed with him, CJ.
Yeah, you know what? He's kind of got a, Baker Mayfield flair to him a little bit where, he can escape the pocket if necessary. But, I mean, a true gunslinger. I mean, I think somebody like him, you don't talk about Oklahoma a lot in the preseason, but a guy like that can make them very relevant as the conference schedule begins. They can very well beat some teams that we probably considered a top 3, 4, 5 team in the SEC. There's someone to watch out for sure.
73-0, playing Lamo, one of the worst teams in college football. Your thoughts about Kalen DeBoer playing 3 different quarterbacks, and the second quarterback came in relatively early in that game. Your thoughts about that?
I think that's fine. I think that's fine playing all 3 guys. I thought what was weird, though, was, you have Ty Simpson in there. Austin Mack comes in, and then Ty Simpson gets back in before the second half and ends up scoring a touchdown. I think this game a lot of it was just about what it looked like. If that makes sense, right? I think they needed to give confidence to, one, their players, right? This is a confidence booster kind of game, but also to the fan base, that all is not lost this season. Don't give up on us yet. They needed to score a certain amount of points, right? You look at the Georgia score, and it was 28-3. And a lot of people may have been complaining about the score, but Georgia had that game handedly the whole way, right? But Georgia's not proving anything. Everyone still believes in Athens that they are Georgia. Alabama had something to prove this weekend, and so it makes sense that they try to run up the score a little bit.
I got to ask you about this because I had notated that the late Sunday NFL game, Football Night in America, it was the first Sunday night NBC game of the year for a reason, because it was a rematch. Bills and the Ravens, Josh Allen, who won the MVP against Lamar Jackson, who probably should have won it. And the game at the end, I mean, the Bills come back from 15 down to win it in the final couple of minutes. Your thoughts about that game, about those 2 quarterbacks? I always thought, the year last year that Lamar Jackson has one of the great years in the history of the NFL, and I thought he should have won the MVP. But he was always known super athletic. What an athlete! Can do so many athletic things. He only throws 4 interceptions last year. He's got something between the ears as well, doesn't he?
He sure does. And, as far as that game is concerned, if you're fans, you got to have a little bit more faith in your ball club. They started leaving early third, and that game turned out to be a win for their team, their hometown team. But yes, no, Lamar Jackson is incredible. And even coming out of college, if you go back and watch the Louisville tape, I mean, the ball comes off his hand, very explosively, tight spiral. And he had great athletes there as well. So he was in an NFL-like system. But, sometimes we get so obsessed with his speed, right, and his athletic ability that we forget that he's also making great throws as well. You don't win the Heisman as a quarterback by just running the ball. There's more to it than that. And so I think that Lamar Jackson has proven that he's not just an athlete, but he's an all-time quarterback. And he should have been the first quarterback or player, whatever, to win 3 in a row. That's what the stats said, right? And so, but they got to finish. Baltimore has got to finish. I've got some friends that are Baltimore fans and are on that train. And I said, well, they got to show me something when it matters, right? They've got the most talent in the league. You got the best back, got the best quarterback. Offensive line is huge. Secondary is incredible. Linebacker. I played against Roquan Smith. He's one of the best players I've ever seen in person. They've got it all, but it doesn't matter if you can't close a game. And they showed that they're still kind of in that space where they're not closing well.
Converse of what you were talking about with Poppy and some of the college quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You got the game in hand. Lamar Jackson may be more well-suited to be that closer, to use your phrase, than anybody else in the NFL. He's got to do it.
They're already back out on Tua Tagovailoa down in Miami. They only score 8 points in their game. They were all in the fourth quarter. Is that an example of not having very good players around him, or is just he not suited for the NFL?
Well, Tua's extremely talented. He's an NFL quarterback. I think he's a middle to upper echelon NFL quarterback. I don't think the talent is a problem. I think there's a culture issue down in Miami. I think they play with a lack of toughness, a lack of togetherness. They're always fighting and bickering. Somebody wants to trade, somebody doesn't. It's just when that happens, when there's no team chemistry right there, as soon as something bad goes wrong, it's like it's an avalanche. It just starts rolling downhill, and that's what you got in Miami, and it's only going to get worse. They have a really good chance of being the worst team in the NFL this year. There's no coming back from the things that the coach is saying in the presser, the things Tyreek Hill is saying in the presser. You've got great athletes like Jalen Waddle. You've got some backs, you've got some defensive backs that are talented guys, but that doesn't matter. You've got to be a team. And right now, Tua doesn't have a whole lot of blocking. He got hit in the back a couple times on Sunday and not getting the ball out quick enough. Guys probably not running their routes at perfect depth or timing. All of that matters. And if that's happening game one, where you're coming out of camp and everything's still fresh on your mind, how does that get better as you get into the dog days of the season? I don't see that.
One more question for you, and it has to do with Saturday afternoon at 2:30 in Knoxville. Somebody texted me, does CJ root for both Georgia and Tennessee to lose in that game?
Listen, I will that's a good question, man. You got me on that one.
CJ, can they both lose by 50?
Exactly. Well, I'll say this, I'll never cheer for that orange team, but I've got one of my childhood friends, Jalen Harris, who played at Auburn, but he coaches at Georgia now. So I will root for Georgia on behalf of Jalen Harris, former St. James Trojan.
CJ, when's your baby due?
February 25th.
Man,
February 25th.
That is awesome. I saw that on your Facebook post. I know you're extremely excited, you and your bride. But I had to ask you, CJ, one of the most incredible photos I've seen of you and your wife in deep water. Somebody took a picture of y'all in deep water. Tell me about that. I showed it to my wife. I said, look how cool this picture is of CJ Duncan and his wife.
We were literally in the middle of the ocean. We went to the I guess they say the Cayman Islands, but we probably over here say Cayman Islands. Sure. But we were down there a few years back. It was actually her sister's wedding. And funny enough, we're on this sailboat and we're headed to take pictures for them, but also do this kind of where you get in the water and you're kind of around the animals and things like that. So we're doing that. That's where we're headed. And so they wanted to get a few pictures of the bride and groom. And the groom was not very confident in swimming. He just, for whatever reason, he just was not very confident in it. So that kind of ruined that moment for the photographer. He's like, I was planning on, this is a part of the plan where we get folks in the water, get you in the water and take some pictures for the wedding. And so he looked around and he was like, hey, do y'all know how to swim? And me and Trish, we just jumped right off the boat and we went down, came up. He was like, hey, do that one more time. And so we went down again. And as we were coming back up, he's just like flicking pictures. And so we accidentally got one of the coolest pictures ever. It was never supposed to be us, but because he couldn't swim, we took advantage of it. So
it looks like about 25 feet of water. It looks like maybe right there. Maybe
we're pretty far out. We're pretty far out.
Did you happen to go swim with the stingrays when you were there?
Yes.
Yes,
And I will send you some pictures after this of me and the stingrays.
Nope.
Yeah, it was pretty cool actually. Yeah.
They take you out on a boat in the Caribbean, and there's just this area, and it's shallow enough, and these stingrays flock to you, and you're out there touching them, and it is amazing.
If you hold your hands out like this, they'll come right up to your chest. It's a pretty cool thing.
It really is.
Look, as long as you stay away from the tail, you'll be fine.
You're good. That's
the tail.
That's a big if, though, CJ.
That is an awesome photo. I just wanted to ask you about it because I thought, man, where in the world did you get that? It is beautiful. It's a gorgeous
photo. We were in the Caymans.
Awesome.
CJ Duncan, we always enjoy the time with you. Thank you so much, and we are already looking forward to next week.
Yes,
Thank you, guys. See y'all next week. Have a good
one. You too, buddy. Thank you. Awesome. Great interview as always with CJ Duncan.
I've just seen too much of the news accounts of what happened to the crocodile hunter to be hanging around.
I got to tell you, the missus wasn't thrilled about it when we first got in the water. And there's some big ones, and the guides know the names of them. They're pointing to them. That's so and so. That's so.
Hey, Kevin, good to see you, man.
And they will come up to you, but it's a spot out in the Caribbean Sea that you're pretty far off land, but it's shallow enough for you to, your waist high water, but you're pretty far out there, and they'll come to you, and of course they're feeding them and whatnot and so forth. But the water's beautiful down there. But you have to check that picture out, Barry. It is. When I saw it, I went, "Wow, man!"
I got to check it out.
Gorgeous photo of he and his wife in some deep water, and the guy's underneath them like that. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, a lot going on. The Gurn Junior Victoryland 777 topic will, I believe, is getting loaded up.
Coming up next on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Play to win big at Victoryland Casino, where the hottest, most exciting games are waiting for you. Big bonuses, giant jackpots, and rewards keep our guests coming back for more. Visit our Players Club today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
There we go. Glad we're back at it here on this Wednesday. I was just looking at some photos that CJ sent me I'm going to send one of them to Gurn, see if he can pop it on the screen for us of what I'm talking about. But I see the Victoryland 777 topic wheel is ready to go.
Here we go. All brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino on exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. New confidence. Again, John and I don't know what any of these are. We've got 6. The men's soccer team, Mauricio Pochettino is the head coach. A 2-0 win over Japan. We should beat Japan in everything.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, I don't care if it's judo, karate, or anything they're identified with. There ain't nothing. I mean, Japan is about the size of Alabama, for goodness
sake. I think so, yep.
We should beat Japan at everything. Lost to South Korea on Saturday. That's right. I forgot about that. The United States losing to South Korea on Saturday, and Younghoe Koo ends up screwing up the game for the Falcons. Ooh, tough weekend. Tough, the United States this year, the men's national soccer national team is not great. It's not good. They don't be looking for them in the World Cup. Not that John would ever look at the World Cup anyway, but so a 2-0 win over Japan in anything. We should be doing it every year because we're Americans, by gosh. But
okay,
check it out.
So there's one of the photos of CJ's where you can tell they're in some deep water right there. They're coming up from the bottom.
Yeah, I've been scuba diving. I love the water and everything like that. But that is, he says they're pretty far out. I'd be, touch nervous.
And then there he is with the stingrays. How about that?
Yeah, that ain't Destin. I'm just telling you, that ain't that little area between Destin and Fort Walton Beach in the Okaloosa Sound. No.
Yeah, they're out there. Thanks, Gurn.
That's awesome. Gurn, good work.
Stuff. Good photos. All right, let's keep the Victoryland 777 topic wheel spinning along. I see the aqua panels is back again today as well. We'll see when
John likes the aqua panel. Yeah, new confidence for the United States men's soccer team.
They're going to need it. They need
because they're going to have
all right.
Historic
day. Huh.
Historic day. What was historic about the day?
Maybe they didn't roll Toomer's corner. Oh,
wait a minute. The University of Illinois gets a $100 million donation. Is it a donation, Larry Gies? I don't know who he is. Is it a donation when they name the stadium after you?
If you give them $100 million, they will.
Yeah, they'll name it after your dog for $100 million. Welcome in to Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, to Fido Stadium, where this afternoon, that guy, whoever he is, $100 million. Don't be looking for. I mean, he's also donated $50 million to the business school. Yeah. Don't be looking for. There he is. Don't be looking for them to have like a new indoor practice facility or a new weight room. That money straight to NIL.
So, Barry, that's what Saban was talking about. The Big Ten
revenue sharing.
They got some generational wealth up there. I mean, big time money.
That's what Illinois got it. Michigan's got it. Michigan State has got it. Ohio State's got it. Northwestern. They beat the dog snot out of Mississippi State, Arkansas.
Yeah. How is Auburn and Alabama going to compete?
That's a great
point.
Those
type of people. It's going to be tough. New age, new era.
Dollars.
All right. Let's see.
All right.
Wait a minute. Where'd the aqua panel go? Oh, gee whiz. Okay. Let's see. Let's spin it. 4 to go.
We are 4 to go.
Victoryland, exit 22 off I-85, Shorter, Alabama. Clear message.
All right.
Clear message.
Oh, yeah. Xavier Gibson really screwed up. This was Jets and Steelers. Steelers get a late field goal, win at 34-32. Jets defense was bad. Beginning of the fourth quarter, Xavier Gibson fumbled away a possession on the kick return. Yeah, he fumbled the ball. I don't know about undisciplined play, but he did fumble it. Aaron Glenn, the head coach, we have to be a more disciplined team. We can't have turnovers. Pittsburgh recovered it. Then they scored a touchdown. They had two touchdowns in less than a minute.
Can't do that.
The NFL, as Jerry Glanville once said, NFL stands for not for long.
Not for long.
And Xavier Gibson fumbled a kickoff. He got the word that, pick up your stuff. We'll have a security guard meet you at your locker room, escort you out. Yongwei Koo misses a field goal for the Falcons. All of a sudden, he's over there. He shows up at the practice facility yesterday and today, and he sees some other kickers out there kicking. He's like, what are you doing? And they're saying, we're looking at other kickers.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that? Start making a few.
That's the harsh realities of it. You're right. It's a tough
they will
business.
Find somebody else.
Yeah, they will. Don't be messing around. You got one job. Do it.
Yeah.
All right. 3 more to go. Victoryland 777 topic wheel on a Wednesday. 3 more to go. Yellow, red, and blue. Where will it stop?
Worth it.
Worth
it. The famous Stewie clip. Oh, I went for it. Worth it. Totally worth it.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Alabama wide receiver Ryan Williams, a much higher price tag than actual. In other words, he's getting more than he's giving. He had 6 catches, 177 yards, a game winner against Georgia. Since then, 10 straight games without 100 yards receiving. On 3 says he's one of the highest paid wide receivers in college football, making over $1.8 million. The best sophomore wide receiver in the country, Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State. His first year, 865 yards. 865, that's good.
Yeah.
That ain't $1.8 million good. And this year, what has he done?
Nothing.
What is he?
Pretty non-existent in the first game. Didn't play in game 2. Will he play Saturday?
He's not 100%, but is he 90%? Is he 80%? Should he be playing hurt? I mean, is he hurt or is he injured?
True.
For $1.8 million, head coach Longshore would be looking at him and saying,
you're hurt.
Tapping that watch and saying, let's go
you
here.
You play hurt. You can't play injured.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's get it going there. 1.8 million. I mean, I wonder if any other school made any offers higher.
I wonder if any other school will make any offers higher.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. How do you
go
keep
Justice
those
Haynes on
guys? Yeah, go Caleb Downs on them. All right. 2 more to go.
Excellent.
2 more to go. Blue and red. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Victoryland open 365 24/7 exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama.
That's a great song by Roy Rogers and the Sons of the Pioneers. Back in the saddle. What? Tiger?
What now?
He ruptured his Achilles. He's had so many things.
Meltdown.
At 49 years old.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Go back. Go back.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say what you're saying, but I want to point something out on this.
Let's do it
here.
Yeah.
Every golfer that goes to the practice tee, you need to hit your shots off the practice tee, just like Tiger's doing here. Don't be having divots all over the place. Have one big divot pattern. And you'll see that. Good golfers aren't hitting shots all over the place. They're just making one big divot pattern. It's easier for it to heal, easier for it to grow back in. But as I saw this yesterday and saw him hitting these chip shots or little wedge shots, it's like a surgeon, how close he is to just hitting it right behind the last divot.
Yeah.
Greenskeepers really appreciate that. They don't like filling up a bunch of divots all over the place.
They know that you're going to be aiming for the ball picker upper guy and his thing. You can do that. That's okay. But just don't be putting divots all over the practice green.
I mean, Range Pro can tell you about guys taking shots at the guy picking up the range balls.
That's exactly right, because he was one of those that was picking up the range balls.
Yeah. Hence the name, Range Pro.
That's exactly right.
All right.
Phantom knows what it feels like to have people pinging at you from long distance all the time.
I mean, we bet like a Coke. Hey, man, I bet you a Coke I can hit that guy.
Yeah, you got to lead him a little bit now. You got to lead him. And the wind is, I guess, 7 miles an hour coming across. Yeah.
And, of course, you want to rip a low driver out there so it makes the hardest impact and the most noise.
Yeah, you don't want a little tapper on the top, You want to rattle that cage.
That's right. All right, one more to go here on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel for this Wednesday. This could be just about anything. It was a great bar in Fort Walton with this name.
Is it still there?
It's a good question.
Cash's
Faux Pas. I don't know if it's still there or not.
I got a guy. It's been a while. I used to live on that island about.
Yeah. Barry, if you were 15, you could get in. Back in the day.
Ryder Cup Faux Pas McElroy silhouette T-shirt.
What's up with that?
The problem is, he ain't playing for the United States. McElroy's a Euro. Throw that up there again. An official T-shirt. This is not some knockoff like you see after the Iron Bowl in some van or something. USA Ryder Cup 20. Somebody actually thought of it, designed it, produced it, marketed it, and nobody thought to think, Rory, he's not American. He's playing for the other team.
Yeah, I got to think. Well, the other team in terms of
opponent. In terms of golf.
Yeah, opponent. I got to think those T-shirts are in Taiwan or somewhere
They're
like that.
They're over there with the Alabama 2021 SEC championship T-shirts,
or those natty T-shirts from Santa Clara. They're same place.
There you go. Yeah. What a way to finish it up. We love faux pas. We love it when people screw up because we always act like we never do, and we always give them a hard time. It's great to have our
Man, what a guest lineup today. Josh Harris, the money line magician, Robert Kahn from Phoenix Physical Therapy, CJ Duncan from Yellowhammer News, and Barry, we're doing it again tomorrow with some great guests.
What a guest lineup tomorrow, huh? Yeah. Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com, Rodney Orr, presented by Range Pro and the folks at Destin Connection Seafood Market as well, coming up. Our thanks to all those guys and our producer, Gurn Jr., for the topic wheel. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.